Hannah Oli, Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. You found it. I sure am glad you did. Hey, quick reminder for everyone listening on audio. I've been reminded to remind people we also have a video version of the podcast, which is over on YouTube. You can get to it. You can get to all my stuff. Just go to the website, jamieroxx.us. It's all there. Roxx is with 2 X's. Anyway, we've got a fantastic guest tonight. Fantastic. I've been been infatuated with her music video that I've been playing. I was just telling her before we came on camera, so much this week here in the studio while I've been working and stuff. A lot of music has emotion in it and whatnot. This is emotion you can feel. And everybody's going, what the heck does that mean, Jamie? I'm being artsy-fartsy for a second, folks. That's all I'm saying. Is it, for me at least, it just has a realness to it that I dig. And I don't know. I'm just saying, man, it's good art to me. That's when you listen to a song or a video or something and it stays in your brain for a couple days, that's good art to me. That's all I'm saying. And I like good art. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Asmi Aderay, all the way out from Los Angeles.
Be here.
Yeah. She just told me, folks, tonight's going to be a little quicker show than normal. We're not going to do one of those 3-hour Joe Rogan deals. No, we never do that. I don't have the weed I'm too old to mess with stuff. I don't even drink anymore. That's the sad part. This is what happens, kids, when you get older. You settle down. I would rather be in bed, but the time I used to go out. Very true. Anyway, then I get up super early. I'm at one of those, if you've ever had old men in your life, something happens and we start getting up super early. It's 3:00 in the morning. Let's go. This is the time. Because it's the only time of day our brains aren't foggy. The reboot of the computer is done. Or the defrag, I should say. Anyway, Asmi, I love your work.
Thank
You're
you
working
so
on the video right now, right?
I am. I'm on set of one of my new songs that's coming out next week. So
Nice.
very excited.
Nice. And folks, Asmi is how we got together. I got a press kit from the fine folks over at Trend PR. Link in the description I don't know how that business works, to be honest with you. Rachel and the gang over there do a bang up job, is all I'm saying. And I've never heard a bad thing said about any of them. And I'm not in that business. I got no skin in the game. But yeah, if you're doing something and you need some help on the PR side, I suggest you try to get them in your corner. I don't know how that works. Pick up her dry cleaning, wash her car. I don't know. It probably involves writing a check. So get to writing, Venmo them, whatever you got to do. I don't know how all this works. Cash App. These are all things that I don't know how to do. Whenever in our business we have to do something like that, I always have to call my wife Danny in. I'm like, Danny, somebody wants to Zelle us something. I don't want to sell the house. And she's like, that's Zillow, Jamie. It's not Zelle. Get out of the way. Let me deal with it. Took me a couple marriages, folks, to figure that out. Always let your bride, your beautiful woman, whomever, handle the business money side of things. That way you have time to think about painting or music or whatever. Anyhow, excuse me, growing up, were you always the music girl, the music lass? Did you know that pop star was going to be in your future?
Singing was definitely a huge part of growing up. I grew up singing. So I'm from India, and I originally sang Hindi songs. So I grew up singing, getting trained in Hindustani music, as we call it, and then slowly transiting to writing music in English, listening to Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. They started getting popular in India, and always had the love for music and performance. As a child, I was in a school band. I was performing regularly with them, so definitely love the collaborative aspect of it and just performing and singing with my friends. So that was really
Awesome, awesome. Let me ask you, and let me just preface it. I don't know much about the Indian culture. I
Mhm.
need to know more about it. So forgive me if I stumble a little bit in any of my questions regarding that. I apologize in advance. I'm curious, many years ago, 20, 25 years ago, I went to Paris for the first time. They flew me, a big museum, had me over to give a lecture on pop art. And to me, it was a big deal. Going to Paris, everybody in my world, all the greats were in Paris, many of them. So we went over there. And one of the things that first struck me was the attitude for music and the arts. Totally different than the US. You meet girlfriends' parents when I was a kid, and they, what do you do? That's very something that I don't know if it happens to women as much as men, but I don't know. I just know from a male perspective, your work becomes part of your identity. And everybody asks you, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm a painter. And people are like, here, they're like, first off, hide the silverware. Number two, what do you paint? Houses or cars? And I'm like, depends on, I can paint anything depending on the check. I don't really care, but they don't get it. In France, for the first time, I was in a different culture with different attitudes
yeah.
for that. And they treat you like a doctor or a lawyer. People are holding the door for you. Ah, dessert's on us. That kind of, in restaurants, seriously, it really happened. Now, in India, I know from a few Indian friends I have had throughout my life that there's a lot of pressure to succeed and a lot of drive, family drive. Okay, you can do whatever, but you're going to be the best at it. So
Yes.
understand that. And I know that's somewhat of a stereotype and a trope, but it was true in the case of everybody I've ever known from India. Is there a different attitude towards the arts and music in India?
You're definitely not wrong. It is still, the culture has moved, it has shifted. My people have become kinder to the future generation taking in careers in the arts or any business that is not doctor, lawyer, medical
No, yeah. Traditional
professional.
professional.
I was going to say, like, yes, exactly. Traditional careers that we have set in our Indian society. But it is getting open. Music industry is also getting spanning wider as years go by with a lot more collaborations happening with other countries. And it's I take pride in having that side of identity to my artistry as well. So I write for lover girls, I write for hopeless romantics, and that is coming from my love of not only
That's
watching
awesome.
old Bollywood movies, which definitely has an impact on my songwriting, but also I learned, yeah, it's just the culture, the love aspect, or that culture was shown through movies or through our hospitality that we show in our country. And that has shaped me as an artist, shaped my identity as well, among other things. I'm always grateful to my country in that way. And I'm fortunate enough to have my parents support me in this side of business, in this industry. So I always have felt and received their support, and their encouragement definitely helps me in days where I don't feel so much artistic or creative. As you must know, we're also handling the business side of things, and that can be a lot. So
Oh,
it's very easy.
absolutely.
It's very easy to deviate from the creativity of our artistry. So very grateful to have their support and keep pursuing my dreams.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's I tell people I mentor a couple. I don't want to say kids, but people new to my particular world, my particular pond in the art business. I have a Patreon, and one of the, you know how that they have the different levels of things you can perks,
Yeah.
I guess they call them. One of those, and my wife came up with this. She goes, "Why don't you at this particular level give people like an hour on the phone, and they
Mm.
can pick your brain about their art business because you've I've been doing this now for, I don't know, going on 30 years professionally.
I can
Let me put it
see
that
that.
way.
I wanted to take a minute to appreciate your Madonna painting right behind
Oh,
you. That is
thank you. Thank
incredible.
you.
incredible.
Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you. Yeah. So it's in the business of the goal is everybody wants to do what their passion is full time. Can I make a living at this? And that's great. I've been doing it, but I have a couple perks of my own. I'm Native American. I get some medical stuff because of that. I don't have to send a $500 a month check for health insurance. Other people may have to. So when you're coming up with that idea of, I want to do this and not have a straight job, health insurance is important. It's nice to have a regular paycheck. If I get sick for a week and can't paint any or aren't making things happen, money doesn't come in. I should say, in theory. The reality is I've got some passive income stuff set up because of that, but it wasn't always the case. I had to learn that. But I imagine with music, it's even more so because you chose the expensive art. What do you mean? She just sings? No. See that? See, she's sitting underneath a canvas, a tent of some sort.
And
A
inside,
truck just didn't pull up for free and say, "Hey, you might need some shade. Here you go." No, that checks have to be written. This stuff doesn't recording. A lot of people that aren't in that business don't realize when you roll into a studio, it ain't like the Doors movie where everybody sits around for 2 months and comes up with idea. The
right.
meter is running by the second. It's like riding in a cab. So you better have a pretty good beat on what you're going to do. And that's in all aspects. Folks, yes, at some higher level, the Taylor Swifts of the world or whatnot, they've got record labels that will hire people to run Instagram or whatever, just all the minutia. The millennials out there like stealing songs on Napster, so no record companies are doing that now. Now,
Agree.
Use Me has to do it, and it's a lot of work.
Asmi.
Asmi. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm so stupid. Asmi. You correct me every time I mispronounce. I will never forget it. I swear. I apologize. Anyhow, Asmi has to do this, and I don't think people realize how much. Like typical of your day, you're a young lady. You grew up with a cell phone. I'm sure you know how to do all this kind of stuff on it. But I would venture a big chunk of time daily is social media.
Yes, you're not
Answering
wrong.
emails, all that stuff. Folks, that's time she could be writing songs. I imagine a lot of songs get written at midnight or worked on, or so it never stops.
You're not wrong. You're
Uh,
not wrong. It's, as I call it, it's right now because of the scale of how independent artists we work and as to how A&Rs and record labels used to work during the time of Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift. You
mhm.
need to have a strong following or liking for your music already. And that's when the A&Rs come in, as opposed to the earlier years where they just recruited you for talent. So it has
Right.
definitely become more difficult for us to channel. We need our team around us. If you're fortunate enough, if you have the funds, you get a social media team, you get a marketing team, you do PR as well. Apart from the creative side, which is hiring recording studios, recording engineers, producers, mixing, mastering. So definitely a lot goes on for indie artists, and we are advocating to just make it more financially supportive for us because there's a lot of us as opposed to artists that are signed to a label right now who are getting their financials done. It's a road, but also, as I said, I call it 90% business, 10% the music, the talent.
Absolutely.
Just what it
I'll tell
is.
you,
Yeah.
when I first started doing the podcast, this was we only started doing video about a year or so ago. It was all audio from 2013 till now. And I first started, I had moved from Southern California and I was out there for a good decade and a half. And I knew all these people on TV shows and stuff, just people from the art that I had met through the art world.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, I know these famous people. I'll just have them on the podcast. It'll be great. And a month and a half later, I ran out of famous people that I knew. I'm calling people up and they're like, Jamie, I was just on 2 weeks ago. You don't want to have me on again. You got to space it out a little bit. That's how you should do that. So I'm like, man, I got to get some guests. Man. And I got a wife now and stuff. I had a girlfriend then. She's a wife now. All my California friends are like, just go to a couple nightclubs down there in Miami. You'll meet people, and that's what you always done. And I'm like, man, I had a good girlfriend I like a lot. That's how you lose girlfriends, hanging out in nightclubs and stuff. I don't want to do that. And so what I started doing is I went through Kickstarter and found interesting Kickstarters. And I emailed the people and say, hey, I like your track you have on, or I like your movie idea, or whatever. Do you want to come on my podcast and talk about it? They all did. And so I met all these people, and I'd never done a Kickstarter. I didn't know much about it. That's a business that's all like a whole nother 40-hour work week if you're trying to do a Kickstarter on top of what you're doing. I had no idea. And it really brought home how much, especially indie artists in the music scene, they're just, you gotta sleep at some point, you know what I mean? But it's a work day that's pretty normal for people in the music business.
We got out of the 9 to 5 to do a 24/7 work routine.
Oh man. Yeah, product manager at some company or something. Doesn't sound too bad right now. Some days, I imagine. But you got it. You're at the core of it, you're an artist. And I'll tell you something non-creative people, they have a hard time wrapping their head around. Artists have to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's no choice in it. If I go on, my wife grew up here in South Florida. So, of course, we have to go to Disney World a couple times a year. And it's fun. I'm with my wife. It's the happiest place on earth. But the thing is, I don't like to go for more than a couple days because I'm not getting work done. And all I'm thinking about when I'm there is the work I'm not getting done. And because we have to do it no matter what. There's a drive. It's hard to explain to people. Mm-hmm. But I certainly am glad that you're doing it as much as you're doing, because the results, they speak for themselves. We got to play a track. Just so our listeners and viewers can see just how cool, how really good your work is. Not just cool, but it's good. This is really fantastic. We've got 2 tracks we're going to play tonight. We are going to play, where are they at? I'm That Woman and Leaving Still Wanting You. What should we play first for the folks to introduce them to you?
The best one that I can think of is I'm That Woman.
Here it is, folks. Check it out. Now, this is new. We'll talk about it here, but I want to play it first. Here it is, without further ado, I'm That Woman, Asmi Aderay. It's fantastic. Here it is.
Gentleman, gently
And we're back, folks. We're back. That was Asmi Aderay. Fantastic track. I'm That Woman. Now these is I know you're working on that video right now. That's what's
I,
had you.
I am.
Is
I'm
it
on set.
out? Can people buy this track?
No, it comes out next
No.
week, April 3rd.
Next week.
Yes.
Okay, there you go, folks. And understand on all of my social media, I know I rarely post. Everybody's like, shut up, Jamie. That's all you do. That's part of my thing that I do every morning. I have a blog and put some paintings up and stuff. But I will be bugging everybody on all of my social media and stuff, April 3rd to pick up this track because this
April
is the
3rd.
track.
Thank
I'm
you so
telling
much.
you. Let me ask you, I hate this question, but everybody needs to know, and I want to know, in your particular artistic process, I know that's such a dumb thing to even ask about, but I'm just curious because I'll tell you, here it is, Asme. People look at a painting that I've done, and they're like, Jamie rolled out of bed Tuesday morning, and he just knocked that out. That was in his head. He just painted it. And yeah, sometimes, very rarely, does that happen. What they don't see is me wanting to throw the canvas in the street halfway through it and jump up and down on it because it's fighting me. And there's a whole bunch of it. But at the end result, my point is, you can't tell. You just see the finished, polished product because it's got my name on it. It's got to be right.
Right.
I imagine with your music, it's the same. I hear I'm That Woman, and I'm like, she just rolled out of bed. It's perfect. It probably didn't even need mastering. It was like one take, I imagine. Now, that's what my ignorance tells me in my brain, but then I think about it, I'm like, I can't tell if this was a hard one, if this was an easy one. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. If you do want to, was it hard or easy to come up concept to completion?
The hook or the concept was not hard. It's it's forward, it's self, not self-love, but it's in a way, it's not a love song. It's the way I love. It's the way love of girls we love when we're in deep. So it's confident,
Right.
it's feminine, but also it has that sense of romance and vulnerability. So it is about knowing, being sure about the way you love, being sure about who you are as a person, and you're letting this person know that you have feelings for, that I'm your woman or I'm the person for you because you're confident in yourself. So it's a very uplifting, energetic. You can listen to this song in your car, in your walk, if you go on a run. So any kind of energetic. Or also, it could also be played while you're having a coffee or in your coffee shop, coffee playlist. So it has both
Absolutely.
of those vibes, and it's an alt pop genre. So having all those luscious guitars come in and synths working as well. Yes, something to just relax to or get yourself hyped up for a big thing in your day. It's definitely uplifting. And for all my romantics out there who just want to get a reminder that they are the way they are is enough and they are that person. I'm that woman.
Absolutely. And folks, something I know everybody complains about technology, and oh, we all found out a distant aunt was somewhat racist during COVID. We all really knew. None of us were really surprised if you thought about it. However, one of the things I like about technology, and I'm not the biggest fan of streaming sites from a business point of view. I wish the pie was sliced a little more evenly.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, that's not my place to say anything about that. What I do like about streaming services, and they all do this. Come April 3rd, when this is released, you can pick this up. Say you have a girlfriend or somebody or anybody that's having a birthday or something's happening, or maybe they're whatever, they're going through something or whatever, and they need a little something. All you got to do is know that their email address. When you purchase the single, the streaming site will ask, where should we send this? Well,
Mm.
send this over to blah, blah, blah. Talk about James Bond. If you're trying to impress a girl, any young bucks out there, everybody buys flowers and chocolates. Nobody buys singles and sends it to them. That just sets you apart in the herd, man. And if
Mm.
you want to buy it if you're a woman and you want to buy it for your girlfriend or something, well, you look like Jane Bond. It's just a cool thing to do. That would make somebody's day getting that in their email. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Amazing. So just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I think it's better than a birthday card. And I sell birthday cards. So I'm saying something here.
Yes.
Very cool. Now, let me ask you this. When you went into the studio, talked to your producer and all this and that, you brought this in. How close was that demo to what we're hearing now? Did it go through a lot of changes and whatnot?
As far as the composition, not a lot. But in terms of instrumentation, yes, my producer and I, so we did a remote. We didn't go
Oh,
into a
okay.
studio. I recorded this at my place, so all the vocals were done in my room, but production wise, we went back and forth. She came in with some great
Nice.
instrumentation, and then I came in with some of the ideas, and she bought it on the instruments that supported those melodies or those ideas, and that is how the song was made.
Amazing. Amazing. And if Beethoven were alive today, that's how he would have been doing it. Of course, 47 French horns would have been emailing him back, and he'd have to put all this together. But then he'd be an EDM artist. Anyway, I digress. I digress. That's cool, man. That is a cool way to do it. And it's cool. You bring up a very good point. I don't care, folks, what kind of art you're doing. If you're making music, you're painting, you're baking biscuits, whatever, have a good workspace, preferably in your home, because when you get an idea at 3 in the morning, you want to be able to flush it, have some place where you can go without bothering anybody and flush it out. Um,
Absolutely.
Very important. And have it organized. I hate that trope. Everybody has that trope. I don't know if it's with music so much, but with painters, everybody's, oh, the artist studio is just a big mess. Some people may work that way. Not me. My studio looks like a surgeon's theater. Everything is in its place, and that way I don't have to waste time looking for something. And you saw, before we came on, I needed to find a pen. It took me forever to find a pen in here. If you would have said, you need a double wide paintbrush, Jamie, I could reach over. I don't even have to look. I
That is
know where
just
it's at.
that's just us.
Yeah. Very true. My wife's the exact opposite. She, if there's a horizontal surface in our home, she, in her mind, she's, oh, something needs to be on that. Let me put a bunch of stuff. I'm like, no, baby. No. And
Right.
she claims she likes modern design. I'm like, you know what you don't see in modern design rooms and whatnot? Clutter. Get this out of here. Yeah, we're the opposite when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Our family's weird. Our family's weird. That's cool, man. That is cool. So you're working on that. That comes out next week. The other track we're going to play is Leaving Still Wanting You. This is the one that has been inspiring paintings in my world all week long. It's should we play it and then talk about it?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, here it is, everybody. This is Asmi, and the name of the track is, I want to say it right, Leaving Still Wanting You. This is a phenomenal video. Check this out. Here it is.
You could have left this heart alone, held it tight from a distance till it broke in silence. Another fool to use, not try. Was your plan to drain my caring? Never held the arms I cave in. This battle that breaks my mind, how I feel finds what I know. Do I stay drawn to your mind, or say goodbye when feelings overflow? Wish you were worth the pain. Now I hurt till the healing's due, finding strength to walk away. So I'm leaving now for good. Still wanting you. It wasn't easy to mourn our chance. Tear by tear I hushed the needing from these hands that keep on pleading. Because if a flame isn't trace of skin, isn't sharing laughs or slow dancing, am I shrinking down for nothing? This battle that breaks my mind, how I feel finds what I know. Do I stay drawn to your mind, or say goodbye when feelings overflow? Wish you were worth the pain. Now I hurt till the healing's due, finding strength to walk away. So I'm leaving still wanting you. Still wanting you. Still wanting you. Changeless night, tell me you can cherish me right. Pour me the reason to stay. I make time bend our way, always holding on, a loser play. This battle that breaks my mind, how I feel fights what I know. Do I stay drawn to your mind, or take the lead for good? Still wanting you. Still wanting you.
And we're back, everybody. We're back. I told you, I did not fib. This is, I feel for this woman in this video, which is you. The character that you're playing in this particular. Or was this an autobiographical track? Or a little bit of both?
It was personal, yes. What in the video is definitely Asmi Aderay in action performing the song. The song's personal, but also for the people who had to muster up the courage, had to build up that strength to walk away from the person they still had feelings for. That's not an easy job to do, not an easy task.
No.
So the song is from the point of the night you take that decision and you just let go of those feelings, let go of those emotions, the tension that's holding you back. Because at the end of the at the end of the road, there's light. So you know you're going to a better place.
And everybody, man, people have been through this. I've been through this. I don't know if it's the same for women. I imagine probably worse. I've never decided it was time that I needed to be heading on down the road in an instant. I thought about that for at least a couple days before that. And how am I going to do this? Or how are they going to react? All this and that. Women probably are thinking about this weeks before, not a day or two. You know what I mean? Men are simple. Women are much more complex. Let me ask you this. Now, you don't have to answer anything I asked you, and again, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm just curious. I'm curious. Has this particular person heard the track, do you think? Or saw the video?
I'm not sure. I'll never know.
I gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't be, hey, look at this video. That would not be on my, what do they call it? Dating app. I don't know. Anyway, it's a very poignant song. And I think on a business side, talk about relatability. People have been through this. It's cool that you were able to give a voice to that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I remember being a kid. I must have been about 14 years old, and I went through my first big break, as big as you can have when you're 14. But at the time, it was pretty big to me. And I'm walking around the house, long face. My father looked at me and goes, "What is wrong with you? What's happening?" And I said, "Oh, Dad, this girl I knew at school, and we decided to do something else." And I honestly, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't think anybody has ever felt like me right now, where I'm at. And my dad chuckled to himself a little bit, and he went over to his stereo and he pulled out an old country album, and he said, "Son, this is Hank Williams. I want you to listen to this out. Hank will understand where you're coming from."
Yeah.
And Hank did. And it made me feel a little better just that there was somebody out in the world that had been through what, of course, everybody in the world had been through, but I didn't know that at 14. So what I'm saying, my point is, you've made a piece of art here that somebody may be going through that.
Yes.
And here's a nice life preserver for them. You know what I mean?
It's a song where you just went out those emotions and let it go. Just release, go past the experience. It might be a lesson, might be an experience that you needed to learn. It's definitely something not easy to do, but the song is a release mechanism. And that is what I also like about my songwriting, my artistry, is that I write from, if I write a vulnerable song, I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a point of strength, because that is where relatability, that is where connectivity also happens. And I want to create a community of us romantics, of us lovers who are waiting for the one, to not shy away from these feelings, but more so accept them and then let go if needed. And I've always written when I was, since the age of 17, I've written songs about emotions that we don't usually talk about. So these are the inner moments, the inner emotions, the inner feelings that we have. So I would say that's my mastery in my songwriting. So it's mostly reflective rather than just painting a picture of where you are, what happened in the scene. So that also brings in the concept of relatability, as you mentioned. Yeah, that's so this song definitely is, it could be healing to you, it could bring back those emotions, but again, in a good way, as the ending of the song is the release point. You just let go, you be happy,
Absolutely.
and it's done.
And there's nothing wrong with reminiscing over past loves or this or that. Because if you're at the point where you're reminiscing over it, you made it through. You made
Yeah.
it through.
I'll tell you
And
something. I haven't heard the song in I would say weeks or months. By the time I finished it, yeah, it's a song that is something that I don't want to personally listen back to. So it's a good thing that my social media team is making the videos right now, and I don't have to
absolutely.
edit and sit with the song. But yeah, for now, I just did it, and that's about it. I don't hear.
That's amazing. That doesn't surprise me too much because you're an artist. When you finish one project, you have to. I'm that way. I'll sit and pick at a painting for months if I could. It's so many times my wife, who I call the final boss, will walk into my studio here and it's up on the easel. She says, "That painting's done. It's ready to go." And it's good. I'm like, "Okay, I'll seal it right now then." And once that seal layer goes on, it's done. You can't paint over that. And you can, but it looks janky. But yeah, so I get it. On to the next project. On to the next project. Because that's the thing. People, yeah, I don't understand people say, "Oh, I've got writer's block or painter's block," whatever. Because I've got about 10,000 ideas for paintings in my head in a big line ready to go. More than I'll ever have enough in my lifetime to accomplish. I'm going to try to get as far as I can, but I imagine you're the same way with music and ideas and projects. And
Yes, I definitely had a writer's block while writing this song because
really,
I wanted to capture the words, the lyrics in the most intimate but also vulnerable way possible. And I
I
didn't
got
want to use the common phrases. So the chorus actually took me about 6 months to finalize. So
you.
it's right now, if you go through the lyrics, it's just simple. You might seem, oh, it's very conversational. It's an easy piece of artwork, or it must
But
have
you're
taken.
having such passion and emotions. I imagine it's easy to swim into the deep end of the pool, so to speak, because you want to
Well,
match those. That's not needed. And that particular color doesn't need to be in that painting. You know what I mean? When
right,
this one will
right.
work.
Yes,
I
yes.
gotcha. That's cool, man. That is cool. Talk about work. Talk about work. That's amazing. It's a good track. I think it's a great track. I've been, like I said, so taken with the passion in it, and not just the visuals, the lyrics and the music too, the whole thing. That I've just been playing it like on repeat. Your social media team will notice. They're like, "Wow, somebody in Florida is really liking this." Yeah, because I've been
That is what
listening
I
to
want
it a
to hear.
lot.
That's what I love to hear.
It's amazing. So are you going to be releasing an EP of new material that this is going to be, or just doing the single route right now?
No, an EP's on the way. It will be either May or June. We're still finalizing it,
Nice,
but very
nice,
excited. And both these tracks will be in the EP.
awesome. I'm selfish because I want to hear more. That's my thing.
No,
So I'll talk to the gang over there at Trend. Hopefully, I can get you back on or something when that drops, or something at some point. I'm going to try. I know they got a lot of people bugging them. We shall see. We shall see. Anyhow, thank you so much for taking the time. Hey, folks, before I forget, which I almost did, we have clickable links over on YouTube in the description. No matter where you're on anything that you're listening or watching the video here on of the podcast, right in the description are all these clickable links. You've been seeing Asme's website flying around your screen. That's not clickable, but the link for it is down there. All things Asme, we've got direct links to. So add her to your likes and shares and all of that and your playlists. And I don't know how this works because I'm an old man. Those of you out there that make TikToks, whatever, I My wife watches TikToks all the time, so that means I listen to TikToks while we're going to bed. I'm hearing her stuff as she's doing her phone. But all the ones I hear have music in the background. If you want your TikTok to go viral, add some Asmi Aderay tracks on behind your TikToks. I don't know how to do it. I don't even have a phone, folks. I don't use a cell phone. Well, I don't know these things,
I
but
think the younger generation
I'm
got it.
sure, yeah, they'll figure that out. They'll figure it out. I wanted to start a TikTok, and I told my wife, I said, hey, I want to do one of these TikToks. Everybody's doing them. She said, Jamie, you got to get a phone to do TikToks. You don't. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And not because I'm cool, folks. I learned when I was around when digital cameras came out, and they were about the same amount as phones are now, about $1,000 a pop. I went through 8 of them before I figured out I don't need to have a digital camera around. People are like, how do you take pictures? My wife does. I've got a wife for it. That's one of her duties because she's good at it, and I'm not. So, as a matter of fact, we were out at a restaurant. This happened probably about a month ago.
Sorry, Jamie.
I
I
Oh, you
did
got to
one.
go. Gotcha. Folks,
Sorry.
that's stories for another time. Have a good one, everybody. Be cool and be kind. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Rocks Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Rocks Limited. Hannah Oli, Pop Rocks Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rocks Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rocks Radio med Jamie Roxx.